6:01. I'm calling this Planning Commission meeting June, oh my goodness, let me look, 14th to order. So welcome everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the City of Independence, I welcome each of you in attendance as well as those of you who are watching on City 7 to this meeting, to this Planning Commission meeting. First, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'll talk about procedure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our meetings, it is the responsibility of this commission to hold public hearings and make recommendations to the Independence City Council on matters relating to zoning and land use changes within the city. We also consider and make decisions on plats, special use permits, and other issues, as well as changes in codes and policies that relate to city planning. So our procedure is that if you would like to speak for or against the cases, we ask that you be sworn in. So let's do that real quick. If you think that you would like to speak for or against a case, will you please stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth before this commission? If so, please answer, I do. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, before we get started, will you do roll call, please? Here.
Commissioner Michelle? Here. Commissioner Nesbitt?
Here.
Commissioner Wiley?
Here.
Chairman McLean?
Here. Thank you. I also want to remind everyone, including ourselves, to make sure that your phones are muted so that the service, so that the meeting is not interrupted. So if you'll take a minute and make sure everybody's on silent, myself included, I will do that real quick. Thank you. Okay, first thing on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'll give everybody a minute to look at the minutes. And then if anybody has any questions or concerns, or I would take a motion.
I have a question.
Okay?
For city staff. Mr. Borders, on the sign permit, and excuse, this is maybe I'm just not fully versed on the process as it relates to signs. Is there a secondary process here where they will have any sort of permitting associated with the installation of the sign itself?
Yeah, they've actually applied for a sign permit. It's on hold until this goes through.
So they'll get the sign permit and then they'll put in for
A
permitting?
standard sign permit, that's right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions or concerns, or I will entertain a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
so on this sign then, basically once we go through consent, we're talking about the sign thing right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so on the sign, if we approve this, does this have anything to open us up for other people wanting to put this big of a sign someplace else, or?
Well, it would have to go through this board.
I know I have to go through the board, but okay, let's go legality. If we have, say we approve this sign go up, then somebody else say we're discriminating against them not getting the sign put up. Is there something like that? Yes, go ahead.
Madam Chair, just to answer Commissioner Nesbitt's question, this sign is in a very specific district. It's an arts district, and it's a sign that's designed to identify the district itself. There's a very specific zoning provision in there that really only this sign could apply to. Perhaps another sign in the area, but there isn't much need after putting a sign of this size up to
Right,
identify
I understand
the
that,
area.
but I'm worried about another district wanting to put up something like, say, the Nolan Road District. They want to put up that big a sign. So would that be?
Is the Nolan Road District an arts district?
I have no idea.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying-
it is,
I'm
so
just
that's-
saying
It's
that.
specific to the arts district.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I understand the sign's nice, I understand that, but I'm just worried about other people, other districts saying this is area they want to put up a sign. That's where I'm having, that's the only thing I'm asking, is where you open up a
yeah, I
bunch of
think
worms.
my understanding is that, each district has kind of its own, and then we've got the Independence overall sign codes, but Inglewood has an arts district, and so I think that's why they have a little bit different codes. So I would imagine anything else that would come up that didn't go with the code in that district, and I know I'm butchering the words, but they would have to come before us as a special use.
Well,
I'm
I
guessing,
understand that,
right?
I'm just thinking other areas in the city, if they have other districts things. That's where I'm asking the
Council, in absence of other stipulations, allowances in other districts, any other signs are going to be beholden to standard signage regulations and code, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
That get you?
Yeah, they're good.
Perfect. All right, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Thank you. Commissioner Michelle, second. And we are ready for a roll call.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
excuse me, Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes,
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
and Chair McLean.
Yes. The consent agenda has passed. Thank you. Our next case to be continued is case 22-100-06. Do I have a motion for that?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
in the matter of case 22-100-06, or rezoning at 13001 East US 40 Highway, I move to approve that case to be continued.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Wiley, thank you. Case 22-100-06 has been continued to the June 28th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting.
Did you
Actually,
want
there
to
was a
vote on
motion
that?
and a second, but not a vote.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, vote.
Okay.
As being way too efficient.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
yes,
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Chair McLean.
Yes. Okay. On to the public hearings. We have the continued case 22-100-05, rezoning of 8712 East Winter Road. So,
And the applicant has requested it be continued again today,
okay,
2 weeks.
so continued to the June 28th.
Yes.
Do
I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we continue case 22-100-05, rezoning of 8712 East Winter Road to the June 28th meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
second,
Thank you.
That's good.
Now we'll take a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
yes,
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case 22-100-05, rezoning of 8712 East Winter Road has been continued to June 28th, 2022. Okay, next case, 22-200-07, special use permit is 13700 East US 40 Highway, Suite F. A request by Jeremy Taylor for a special use permit to operate a body art services business. Does anybody have any questions of staff before we bring the applicant up?
You want the presentation?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah. Can you give us a report, please?
Okay, so as you can see from this first slide on the presentation, this is the vicinity map This is in the vicinity of Washington Avenue and 40 Highway, just a couple blocks west of Nolan Road. An area zone C2. It's an outlot of a shopping center, the Nolan Fashion Square. And as our comprehensive plan shows, this has actually been re-envisioned as potentially a business park location where this underutilized shopping center is. So this is I guess you can call it an outlot, but it's actually on the front part of one of the lots that makes up this shopping center that slices through the main building there to the north. But we're talking about a 6-unit, on the aerial photograph, a 6-unit building, 3 facing 40 Highway, and then 3 units facing internally toward the parking lot of the shopping center. The applicant is applying to open the tattoo shop in Suite F, which is in the northeast corner of this outbuilding. There will be only 2 tattoo artists working in this tenant space at any time. There will not be any exterior improvements to the existing shopping center building. However, as you will see momentarily, the trash enclosure that's located right near there serving those units does need to be rehabilitated with new doors. This applicant previously applied and received approval earlier this year from the Planning Commission and City Council to operate a body art business in the former Tommy's Tavern in the Independence Square area. However, was not able to secure a lease there. The applicant is requesting a new special use permit for this particular location. The limit on the number of body art shops is now 8, an increase of 7 due to the city's 2020 census population, 123,011 people, up from 116,830 in 2010. So I'll go through some of the pictures here and then the conditions of approval. So this is, it shows both a small picture of the north side of the building here, as well as the footprint there at the northeast corner of Washington Avenue and 40 Highway. And this shows Unit F right there. This is the wall on the east side of that unit. And this is the way this building looks from 40 Highway, from the intersection of 40 and Washington Avenue. This is across 40 Highway, looking back towards Steak and Shake, or the now defunct Steak and Shake. This is looking east back toward Nolan Road. This is just right southwest of the building. Looking southeast. This is Washington Avenue, looking back toward the old movie theater, north of Gordman's. This is looking west on 40 Highway toward the bridge over the railroad tracks. And the main shopping center to the north. And looking back toward General's Plaza here at the traffic light. And this is the enclosure that, of course, needs a little bit of rehabilitation. Staff recommends approval of this application with the following three conditions. This special use permit is restricted to 13700 East US Highway 40, Suite F only. The opaque door, wood or metal, shall be repaired on the existing trash enclosure. And number three, the applicant will obtain and maintain all applicable city and state licenses and comply with all health department requirements.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for staff before we bring the applicant up? Okay, will the applicant come up and please state your name and your address, please?
Jeremy Taylor, 717 Southwest 29th Street, Blue Springs, Missouri,
Thank you.
64015. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Oh, no. I would just tell us anything you want us to know about the project.
Okay, so I've owned a tattoo shop in Kansas City for the last 10 or 12 years. Huge shop, 10 or 12 artists underneath me. I had another shop out in Grandview. Me and my wife have 6 kids, and our youngest has autism. So it made it to where we had to choose between running a big shop or being parents. So back last year, I decided to move out here to Independence, my shop, and do a smaller one with no employees, just me and my wife. And I think we were under the impression that we were going to be able to open it on December 1st of last year. And then there's this process that you go through in Independence for zoning that you guys, I'm sure, are aware of that takes about 3 months. So we were unaware of that. We went through the whole process, and we were able to secure a lease with the other building landlord. But after the lease was made, she changed the amount of rent pretty significantly. We got into it, and I told her I wasn't going to pay it. We canceled the lease on an agreement, and then I had to find another building. So once again, I was fooled thinking that I was going to be able to transfer my zoning to the new building. At this point in time, I really just need to be able to open my business. It's a small tattoo private studio and art gallery because my wife does more painting than tattooing. And we are getting a landlord to wait 3 months for you to be zoned is almost impossible. So I just really hope that you guys all vote yes so I can go open the doors. That would be fantastic.
Does anyone have any questions of the applicant?
Just one question. One of the conditions for approval is that the trash enclosure will be repaired. That's presumably landlord property.
No, I've already made an agreement with the landlord that the only thing he'll repair before I move in is AC, electrical, and plumbing. And we've already talked about it. The second I sign the lease, which I'm kind of waiting on you guys, I'm going to replace the garage door. So it'll be done day 3 probably.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Wow, the pressure now.
Please.
Does anybody have any questions for the city? Any other questions of the applicant? Oh, that's right. Gosh, thank you. Goodness, you guys are here. Is there anyone who would like to speak for this project? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this project? All right, seeing none, the public portion of this case is closed. Is there any further discussion, or I would entertain a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
in the matter of case 22-200-07, special use permit 13700 East US 40 Highway Suite F, I move for approval.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you.
With conditions.
All right, we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
and Chairman McLean.
Yes. Oh, yes, you've got one more.
What? Oh,
Somebody snuck in.
Commissioner Young.
Congratulations and best of luck.
I appreciate that. Do I have to come to too, though, I've been told, I think.
To the planning commission meeting?
I think so. I'm not sure.
City council,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So, you guys know what the date of that one is?
What's the date of the next city council meeting?
And I can't open until after that one too, correct?
Right. The first reading is on June 6th, but the public hearing is the second reading, which is not June 6th, July 6th. And the second reading, which is the public hearing, is on July 18th.
So July 18th,
Thank you.
sorry.
Okay,
luck.
I stand corrected. It's the 5th and the 18th of July.
The 5th and the 18th, okay, good, he's got it. Okay, next case is 22-100-08, rezoning of 1131 South Glenwood, a request by Vivian and Ray Webster to rezone property from C2, which is general commercial, to R6, which is single-family residential. Staff, will you give a report?
So we're looking at the vicinity map for this residence that is on Glenwood Avenue, just a little east of Brookside and right off Truman Road, as you can see. Currently zone C2, and the applicant's asking for R6, single-family residential. So as you can see, there's this single-family residential neighborhood to the north, but this particular lot is within the area zoned C2, although it's a second-tier interior lot on the side street here on Glenwood. And you can see the comprehensive plan here. And it's envisioned as a mixed-use area. And the aerial gives you a little bit better view of this. You can see the freestanding garage with the driveway there, and then the main building, the house to the north. Vivian and Ray Webster request to rezone this 11,828 square foot property, which contains a single family home and an accessory garage. This legal non-conforming use in a C2, and rezone it to R6, single family residential. The house is 1,635 square feet. And the residential property occupies 2 lots of the Rosebud Park subdivision. Given the current zoning, the existing residence is legal non-conforming, and therefore its continued use as a residence, of course, is permitted. However, the existing structure could not be rebuilt if there was a substantial damage to the house or it was destroyed completely. In short, if the costs of rehabilitation and reconstruction accounts for more than 50% of the market value of the property, which is house and land, the residential use cannot be restored. Further, and reason why this is important, it's often difficult for owner occupiers to get financing for a home that cannot be rebuilt if it's damaged or destroyed. So we're looking directly east at the property here, the fence there. This is looking back to the south toward Truman Road. And this is the neighbor to the north. This is looking north up Glenwood. This is a home actually a duplex, I believe, to the northwest, and a house with a accessory garage across the street to the west, right here. Staff recommends approval of this zoning request, and I'm ready to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions of staff?
Madam Chair, I have a question here.
Sure.
Go right there, stop, I'll go back now. The fence there, is that fence out in front of the property, in front of the house?
Yes, it is, and
That-
it actually does not meet code.
Okay, that's why I was wondering about that. That's why I was curious about that, because I thought so, because it doesn't have to be under like 3 feet or something like that.
That's correct, and it needs to be see-through actually as well.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, okay.
Okay, should we bring the applicant up? Okay, would the applicant like to come up? And please state your name and your address, please. Both of you can state your name and address.
But, let me go first.
Vivian Cherry Webster.
And Ray Webster.
Address is 1131 South Glenwood Avenue, Independence, Missouri 64053.
Thank you. What would you like us to know?
Well, we from the United States Virgin Islands, so we just moved here to Independence, and we love Independence, and we love Missouri, right? And we were house hunting for a while now. We are a family of 8. Yeah, my wife, me, and 3 boys and 3 girls. So after searching, we found the perfect home. We got the loan, we got the home going, and then we find out about the zoning. It's like,
Why
you
not?
know, and then also the problem was too, like how you all was saying, like if something happened to the house, it get damaged, you know. So that's all our savings right there. You know, we invest everything in this home, you know, to make it our home, you know, family home. And we love the area, and we love the home, you know, beautiful place, yeah,
It's very pretty.
you know.
Yeah.
And
We're just hoping that you guys, take into
you know,
consideration,
yeah, you know, hopefully, you know, could help us out so we could get this going and situated, and you know, we could get our kids them raising over there. You know, that's what we're planning to raise our kids them. You know, so
Yeah, they love the house. So
yeah.
everybody.
And we also got a dog, so we just got a dog too. A little
course you
chow
do, why
chow.
not?
Yeah. Yeah, because
All the
we
kids
have
can have a dog.
yeah, we have a nice lot, so the kids wanted a dog, so we also got a dog there for them. That's why we fence the yard like that, you know. But if we got to fix it, I no problem. I will get that done, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicants?
So you put the fence up,
Yes, sir.
and you didn't know about the regulation?
No, what I know, it was supposed to be 4 feet low. So through the property is going down a hill. I thought I was through with the regulations. And then an officer came through. I know an officer named Kevin. And I asked Kevin, you know, what you think about the yard? He told me, man, Ray, that look good, man. I like the level, you know. So I thought I was good with it because they could see all in the yard.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Okay,
know?
well, I don't know, you'll probably get
Yeah.
a ticket because it doesn't meet code. So, I mean, that's one thing that you will have to get fixed. So
Okay.
I just want to make sure you know that.
Okay.
Now we know. Thank you.
Thank
you
you,
know.
yeah.
Codes and zoning are an adventure. Okay, anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you. You can sit down.
Thank you.
So this is basically a down zoning. And that's really all it is.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Or I'd entertain a motion. Oh, yes, we're for it against it. Is there anybody here who would like to speak for this case? Is there anybody here who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none, public portion is closed. Any comments, concerns, or I would entertain a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve case 22-100-08, the rezoning of 1131 South Glenwood from C2 General Commercial to R6 Single Family Residential.
Thank you.
I second.
Commissioner Rochelle. All right, we're ready for the vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Young. Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case number 22-100-08 has passed. Congratulations and good luck.
Madam Chair, we might just remind applicants here that this is a recommending body, and so we are recommending approval, but
Yes.
these cases are going forward to council for final approval, just so there's any confusion on those.
Good idea. So you know that you've still got to go through council, just like the gentleman before you. Thank you. But we wish you good luck. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Next case, 22-100-09, rezoning for 1126 South Cottage Avenue. A request by Mitchell Carson to rezone this property from C2 General Commercial to R6 Single Family Residential. Staff report, please.
So, as you can see from the vicinity map here, this is another one of those residential homes that's just right off the commercial corridor. In this case, 23rd Street, just a little east of the railroad tracks, east of Chrysler, there on Cottage Avenue. Again, requesting the rezone from C2 General Commercial to R6 Single Family Residential. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, there's this strip of commercial along 23rd Street going back one or two lots, sometimes three lots off of 23rd, and this is one of those second-tier residential lots in a commercially zoned area. And the comprehensive plan here envisions this for residential urban neighborhoods. So downzoning would be within the vision of the plan. So, Michael, or Michelle E. Carson requests to rezone a 81,520 square foot property with an accessory building from C2 General Commercial and R6 Single Family Residential. The approximately 1,500 square foot house is in a subdivision of mostly single family homes that exist going northward along this street. Given the current zoning, again, like we said with the previous case, the existing residence is legal nonconforming, and therefore its continued use as a residence is permitted. However, the residential structure could not be rebuilt if there was substantial damage to the house or it was destroyed completely. Again, in short, if the cost of rehabilitation and reconstruction accounts for more than 50% of the market value of the property, house and land, the residential use cannot be restored. Further, it is often difficult for owner-occupiers to get financing for a home that cannot be rebuilt if damaged or destroyed. So we'll go through the photographs real quickly here. So this is the home here on the west side of Cottage looking east. There we go. And this is looking up the street toward 23rd Street, house to the right. And a commercial business there at the northeast corner of the intersection. And then this is looking back northward, down the street, back toward the square area. Or toward the auditorium, actually. And there we go. Okay. I think, yeah, I've been through all my pictures, so. Staff recommends approval of this case, and I'm ready to take any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions before we bring the applicant up? Okay, would the applicant please come up and state your name and your address, please?
My name is Mitchell Carson. My address is 7612 Sycamore Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64138. I purchased this home many months ago. Me and my wife, we rehab homes, done a lot of houses in the city of Independence. The zoning requirement on this kind of snuck up on me. I do have a veteran buyer who is anxious to buy the home, move into the home, make it his forever home. But unfortunately, this zoning requirement, the VA requires this to be done before the process so can continue. So with your guys' blessing, I'd love to get this place transferred over to residential. It's been a home for a long time. It's in a residential area. I just know it's just on one of those weird little borderlines. So that's all I ask.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your due diligence.
Thank you.
Any questions for the applicant? Thank you. You can be seated.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak for this case? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none, the public portion of this case is closed. Commissioners, any comments? Or I would entertain a motion. This is just, feels good because it's another cleanup.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're just slowly, neighborhood by neighborhood, tidying them up. So it's, I know it's a pain for you, but it's great that you are doing it so we have attention. It calls attention to these little spots.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve case 22-100-09, the rezoning of 1126 South Cottage Avenue from C2 General Commercial to R6 Single Family Residential.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. We're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Young, Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case 22-100-09, rezoning 1126 South Cottage Avenue has passed. Best of luck. Next case, 22-100-10, rezoning for 1314 West South Avenue, request by G&B Holdings LLC to rezone this property from L1 industrial to R6 single family residential. Staff report.
It's a G&B Holdings purchased this property a few years ago. It's located on South Avenue, about a block west of Chrysler. And since that time, they have been unable to find a commercial tenant for the site. The most recent one was a cleaning restoration service, which closed in 2019 before they purchased the property. But they did have interest in the property from potential residential buyers. After that, they decided to rezone the property to residential for lease or resale. The building there, which is, as we can see, we'll see in a minute, looks like a house and contains a little over 1,500 square feet. And they say the interior is mostly open storage. If they do get the zoning in place, they will have to go in and convert the storage rooms into kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms, bathrooms, and so forth. There's an off-street parking place behind the building. And the two adjoining properties on the east contain occupied single-family homes. The properties to the west are warehouses. Okay, this shows the general location of the site. Again, there's a Chrysler going north and south. There's a railroad, that line that goes to the southeast that's almost directly across from them. This is the surrounding zonings. This is a one-lot property that will be changed to residential. You can see it in the red box there. The purple color is I-1 industrial, and then there is a little bit of commercial property to the southeast. Comprehensive plan recommends neighborhood residential uses for the site. And this is the aerial of the area. Again, the site is in the little red oval there. Across the street to the south is a property that used to be a freight yard, I believe. And then there's some commercial industrial properties to the west and residential properties to the north and somewhat to the east. Okay, here we're out in the street of South, looking north at the front of the building. They've got growth trees there that kind of obscures its view, but it has a look similar to a single-family home, but we're not sure what the history is. This is the back part of the property. We're in the alley looking south. See the single car garage there and the parking area when it was a commercial industrial property. It was used for parking of vehicles. This is the house that's immediately to the east of the site. It's an occupied single-family home. And then east of that is another single-family home. And then we're looking down West South Street toward Chrysler, which is off the distance there. And these two photographs are the what used to be a freight yard for the train tracks, which is just right south of this property. And here we're looking west up South Street at two warehouses that are adjacent to the site. And again, this is the warehouse that's most closest to the property. That little driveway you see there on the right is actually right next to their property. Staff does recommend approval of this rezoning.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners, any questions?
I just have one question, just clarification really. The single-family homes to the east, those are also legal non-conforming at this point?
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Will the applicant come forward and state your name and address, please?
Tanya Goody, and I'm at 46 R Street in
Excuse
Lake
me, can you
Lotawana.
put the microphone up on the next layer so you can hear you better?
Is that better?
Yep, that's way better. Thank you.
Too tall, I guess. Tanya Goody, 46 R Street, Lake Lotawana.
Thank you. I guess anything you would like us to know about this project?
Well, just to kind of reiterate what he said, is like we purchased this property with the intent of getting another commercial tenant in there, you know, since it was zoned commercial. And it's set vacant for several years because we've had no luck with that, so we decided it was time to try to get it rezoned and get it, you know, turned into residential so we can do the improvements and stuff and either get it rented or resold or something instead of it sitting there vacant.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
So your intent is to go ahead and rehabilitate the house and turn it into a single-family home?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I think we're good.
Okay.
You're also easy, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of this case? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none, the public portion of this is closed. Commissioners, any questions, or I'd entertain a motion?
I have just a quick question. Since the requirement is to rehabilitate this house, turn this back into a house, does that need to be a stipulation to the approval? Or is that not our responsibility?
So the rezoning, to make that change, they would have to then make use of it as a residential. So the next step for them would be a building permit, essentially do all the repairs inside to create the kitchen, to create, recreate what was there previously. That will all be handled through that process, but they won't be able to use the property going forward as commercial any longer if the zoning is changed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments, concerns, further questions? I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to approve case 22-100-10, the rezoning of 1314 West South Avenue from I-1 industrial to R6 single family residential.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Okay, we are ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Young. Yes. Chair McLean.
Yes. Case 22-100-10, rezoning at 1314 West South Avenue has been approved. So good luck. Next case, case number 22-100-11, rezoning of 8905, 8907, 8909 East Lexington Avenue, a request by Matthew Coburn to rezone these properties from C1 Neighborhood Commercial to R12 Two-Family Residential.
Yes, it's a cleanup night.
It's all right.
Anyway, Matthew Coburn requests to rezone these three lots on East Lexington, just south of 24 Highway. There's currently a house on each of the three lots, and he wants to rehab one of the homes into a living area. It's not occupied at this present time. That's 8905. These, we'll just go through the slides here. You can see from the aerial the location of the property, which is really abuts at 24 Highway here. This is the zoning for the site. As you can see, it goes right through the properties at a diagonal. Basically, it falls at 200 feet from the south right-of-way of 24 Highway there, Winter Road. The comprehensive plan does recommend neighborhood residential uses for the site. And this is a kind of a close-up view of the three lots. As you can see, there's how the diagonal goes through and shows where the houses sit on this property. And there's on the 8905, there's actually a large portion of the lot that's vacant. But and here we go. This is the three houses you can see, 1, 2, 3. The first one, which is the 8905, is the one he's trying to rehab. The other two west of this are currently lived in. This is the looking to the northwest from Lexington. This is part of the 1805 lot that's somewhat vacant at this time. There's the house that's just to the west of the site. This is the 1805 property. As you can see, it's under rehabilitation. This is the middle house that is occupied, the 1807 property. And then this is the 8909 property. Again, that's occupied as well. This is the house at 8911, which is really the last house on this street, which is more or less an alley. If you've been out to this area, and then this is the Lexington Avenue, just kind of comes down and stops right there. As you can see, it's fairly narrow. It's probably 15, 16 feet wide. I'm guessing, I don't really know the history of this, but Lexington, the right-of-way for Lexington is actually on the other side of these lots, on the north side. When they did the improvements to 24 Highway, they reshuffled all these lots. So all these 3 lots have to access the rear of the property, even though the houses may face this way. So that's really an alley. This is the property that's to the southeast of the 3 lots. That's a vacant lot there. And this is the property that's basically right across the street from that. The truck is parked on another alley that splits between the 2 vacant property to the left and then another house on the right that provides a secondary means of access to this property. This is the house that's directly south of the site, across the street or alley from the applicant's property. Here we're looking west up Lexington Avenue. You can see how wide the road is. Again, it's fairly narrow. And staff does recommend approval of this application.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions of city before we bring the applicant up? Okay, will the applicant come forward, please, and state your name and address?
Hello, my name is Matthew Coburn. I reside at 10516 East 35th Terrace South in Independence, Missouri, 64052.
Thank you. So tell us all about this.
Oh. Well, I have owned 8907 for 12 years, and I actually had pulled a permit on that and totally redeveloped the property. It was a mess, and, you know, redid the whole thing. And I also, during this process, had people living at 8909 that were terrible. You know, there was just trash everywhere and just a nightmare. Well, those people finally moved out, so I bought that house from the owner. And then 8905 was owned by Jackson County Land Trust. So I bought that from them. My purpose is to just redevelop this area and just get it into an economically viable residential property. So I spoke to zoning, talked about redeveloping the property at 8905. It's a mess. It has to be totally redone. Essentially, I can't even pull a permit and get this process started until this gets rezoned. So that's where I'm at. That's why I'm here today.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And actually, my other houses are in this swath of commercial stuff too, so I'm just getting them all done at once.
I'm clearly all about efficiency because I keep forgetting parts to the meeting.
There you go.
That's
Yep.
great. Any questions of the applicant?
Madam Chair, I have a
Yeah.
question. Why are we going R12 instead of R6?
We are doing R12 because that entire area, that entire neighborhood is already R12. That does not represent a change whatsoever to what the entire area already is.
Okay.
As you can see from the aerial, the R12 is that kind of a darker yellow, and so he's just going to be consistent with that.
Well, consistent, I'm just worried about those houses don't look big enough for a 2-family. That's why I was questioning that. Is that correct?
That makes sense, but, you know, actually 8905 was put together as an up and down duplex.
Oh, it was?
Already. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's not going to be any different.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone who'd like to speak for this case? Is there anyone who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none, the public portion of this meeting is closed. Any other questions for the city, or I would entertain a motion? Anyone?
Madam Chair,
Thank you. Yes.
in the matter of case 21-10 2024-100-11, rezoning for 8905, 8907, 8909 East Lexington Avenue. I move for approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Let's try it next time, Bryce. Okay,
Arm wrestle.
we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Young. Chair McLean.
Yes. Case number 22-100-11 has passed. Best of luck and
Godspeed.
Godspeed. It's right. That is quite the adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, next case, case number 22-100-12, rezoning 10725 East Truman Road, a request by Wayne Zambelli to rezone this property from C2 General Commercial to C3 Service Commercial. Staff, will you give us a report?
So as you can see here from the slide, this vicinity map shows the area right near, I guess if you're familiar where Ted's trash is there on Truman Road, that's right across the street there, where the traffic light is for Northern Boulevard, just near the railroad track. This is the area just to the east of that. And of course sits at the southwest corner of the further extension of Northern Boulevard coming off 23rd Street, or Truman Road to the south. So you can see this is an area of C2 General Commercial, where the applicant requests the C3 to be provided. Comprehensive plan actually envisions this whole area as residential neighborhoods. As you know, our comprehensive plan has been trying to get away from corridors and going toward nodes. So these areas between major intersections along these main roads are indicated as residential neighborhoods on our comp plan. And here's the aerial photograph of the existing structure, how things are laid out today. The applicant requests to rezone the property from C2 General Commercial to C3 Service Commercial to permit the existing lawn care business to have outdoor storage. The 14,000 square foot track, the 14,320 square foot track with an existing block former service station building sits halfway back on the property. This property has been zoned for C2, has been zoned C2 for several decades. Over the years, it's been used for a variety of commercial uses, and the most recent being an auto repair business. There is some paid parking and driving surface on the front of the building with unimproved surfaces on the side and the rear. City ordinances require all parking, driving, and storage surfaces to be paved. The front parking, driving surfaces will need some repairs, as well as some striping and signage and striping for van accessible parking as well. Further, the unimproved surfaces on the side and rear will need to be approved to city standards. Plans will need to be submitted to and approved by the city in order to ensure proper stormwater runoff and compliance with other city requirements. The UDO requires that all outdoor storage areas be screened. This can be in the form of walls, fences, or berms in combination with a 100% opaque landscape screen. If the zoning request is approved, of course, all these departmental concerns and regulations would be ensured prior to issuing a business license as part of this permitting process. So I'm going to go through the pictures real quickly. Okay, so this is just a certificate of survey that's showing the footprint of the existing building, and that it actually sits on 3 lots. Looking directly at the site, see it's an old service station. This is looking back north at Ted's, across Truman Road. And this is back toward the railroad bridge and the light at Northern. And this is the east side of the property. As you can see, we have a paved surface in questionable condition up front, and then we have more of a dirt and non-paved surface that right now exists wrapping around the building. And this is across Northern, looking to the east. It's some of the assorted little cottage structures that are on that property to the east. And then this is looking up to the south, down Northern into the residential neighborhood that lies beyond. And then this is just another view to the northwest from the front of the property. This is looking back toward the old hospital. And then I guess that concludes my pictures there. So staff recommends approval, and I'm ready to take any questions you may have.
I had a question. So do we not need to include the landscaping, the trash enclosure, or the resurfacing of the parking as a recommendation?
That was my question too.
The problem is this is a rezoning.
I
And we
see.
can't condition the rezoning, but we do have the licensing process that we can,
Okay, so you'll
during
catch
that
it now.
process, ensure that these necessary improvements are made.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That was confusing to me. Okay, any questions for staff before we bring up the applicant? Okay, will the applicant please come forward? State your name and your address, please.
Good evening, Bill Moore. I'm an attorney with Rouse Fretz, White Goss, Gentile Roads, offices located at 4510 Kansas City, Missouri.
Thank you.
Here this evening on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Zambelli. Mr. Zambelli is getting his business up and running. It's a lawn care business. He is a retired military veteran, and this is a veteran-owned and operated business, and he's kind of excited about being able to locate here. As you can tell from the photos, it's a interesting site. It's got a little work to be done, but Mr. Zambelli is in the process of doing that work and upgrading it so that it is usable for his purpose. If you remember, I was here last month on a case very similar to this, in the sense that it was a use of the property that was otherwise permissible, but for the outdoor storage. That's a very similar situation here. But for the outdoor storage, we would not need to be here to rezone this from C2 to C3. Mr. Zambelli understands what the requirements are and is fully willing, ready and able to get going and comply with everything, and frankly have an opportunity to upgrade a piece of property that needs a little facelift. He is here this evening if you would like to ask him any questions.
Sure. Anybody?
And he's right here.
Well, come on up. State your name and your address, please.
Wayne Zambelli, 10908 North Wabash Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri, 64155.
Thank you. Is there anything you'd like us to know about the project? How excited you are?
No, so like you said, I retired back in this area up in North Kansas City back in March of 2019 from the military. Took a year off from the military and spent time catching up with my kids and getting to know them again, and got pretty antsy. I'm a busybody. I can't sit around too long. So, my wife made a recommendation one day. Why don't you like cutting grass? Why don't you start a lawn care and a snow removal business?
You should always listen to us, by the way.
What's that?
You should always listen to us, by the way.
So I did, and kind of it took off on me. I was designated a Missouri PTAC rep that works directly with veterans, service members for starting businesses, and things kind of took off. We specialize in all commercial mowing and federal and government contracting. I don't really mess around with too many residential things or homeowners. And one of the areas and reasons why I picked this location and this site is it's essentially located in what they call a hub zone as well. And my PTAC rep is what helped sold me on that. And part of my goal is in rehabbing this building in this location is if I can focus my hiring and employment and creating job opportunities in this area as well, it will, 35% of my payroll has to be from employees and residents that live in this area. And that will qualify me for a hub zone certified and owned business as well. That will increase my percentage of guaranteed government contracting and bids. And just to give you an idea, with a lot of these government contracting, just for somebody that does lawn service or mowing, like with the federal government, I'm required to pay all prevailing wage. So if prevailing wage just for somebody to go out and mow grass is $15 an hour. If I don't offer health insurance, I have to pay them $20 an hour to operate and run a lawnmower on, government property. And just, for the record, as a lawn care company, I offer a matched 401k plan. I offer full health, dental, and vision benefits. My wife and I have been doing this. This is our fourth season going into this, and we've never collected a penny yet. I've never paid myself a dime. I kind of had a passion for this. It's something I enjoy to do, sitting in a truck, driving around in the winter times, plowing snow. It was supposed to be busy work. It's consuming me, but we enjoy giving back and just helping try to create a fun job and atmosphere and get people back to work and kind of it's my way of wanting to give back and just do something a little extra for the community, I guess. So if you have anything for me, that's pretty much all I have to say.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and your energy. Anybody any questions? I can say I'm excited to see what you do. It's an area that does need a little love and attention, and Ted's done a great job across the street, so we're anxious to see.
We're working on it. It's sometimes I ask myself if it's a little more, if I bit off a little more than I can chew. It's been a lot of work, and obviously I ran into the snag of having to rezone. I understand. The privacy fencing, the parking lot paving, all those things, they're all natural things that I've intended, from day one of getting it done. It definitely is an eyesore. There's no doubt about it. But majority of the materials I do have on site already. I would have started the process on a lot of this already, but running into the zoning issue and the snags, it's kind of put me on hold. My intention is I'm going to stone and stucco the entire building. The materials are actually sitting behind the building. We got them out from in front of the building so it doesn't create such an eyesore. the hillside that's constantly sliding down and washing out the parking lot. There is, believe it or not, if you look at there's a lot more concrete there than it actually looks. It just looks paved because we're moving so much excess dirt around that's constantly sliding off of that hillside. I addressed some of the drainage issues. I understand we'll have to take it a little bit further, and I'll talk more with the city with. One of the big problems with that corner in the area is unfortunately there really is no drainage or anywhere for water to go. The only manhole drainage or anything that is there is directly to the west of my shop underneath of the trestle tracks there. And even it, during any kind of rain, bad storm, floods out and backs up all the way into my own parking lot. So we definitely have some work to do, but I'm up for the challenge and looking forward to it and seeing what we can do with the place and cleaning it up and not making it such an eyesore.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for this case? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none, the public portion of this is closed. Commissioners, any questions, comments, or I'd entertain a motion?
I don't have any questions, or I'll just make a comment. Thank you for your service. I know way too much about federal purchasing requirements. I understand the hub zone process. I applaud you for utilizing that. It's good opportunities for you, but it's also good for the community, and it elevates quality of life for people that are from the community working for you, so thank you. I don't have anything else. If anybody else has any questions or comments, otherwise I would make a motion.
Okay.
In the matter of case 21-112, rezoning for 10725 East Truman Road, I move for approval.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. And we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
And Chairman McLean.
Yes. Sorry, case number 22-100-12, rezoning of 10725 East Truman Road has been approved. Thank you. And thank you also for your service and your willingness to clean up a little part of Independence.
Thank you.
Okay, roundtable. Anything for us?
I want pictures of everything that we saw when it's done tonight.
Before and afters?
Yes, I want afters. I feel like we should have required that.
Yeah, that landlocked property. Wow, it's pretty scary. I have one request, and I'm not really sure. Anyway, I was wondering if it's possible to do or plan or create some like learning moments that we could even incorporate on slow nights, or, you know, kind of teaching us about the hub things, or just little things where you could kind of catch us up on like car washes. How many are we going to allow in Independence? So just like give us little moments when we can actually discuss some of these things that keep us up at night. Lots of tattoo parlors, lots of car washes, lots of used car lots. That's the big one. But maybe we could just kind of use time when we know we've only got one or two cases to kind of open it up for discussion or exploration. I'm not even sure exactly how to word it, but
Could the members of the board send us a list of things that you'd like to talk about, and then we can kind of go through those and
so
prepare
if we
some
came up with
materials?
the wish list, we can give it to you? Okay. How would you like us to do that? Would you like us to do it in email form? Would you like us to write it down separately and bring it to the next meeting? What is the
Well,
proper?
Can you do the return all and put comments in it? And I assume you get all this material in email as well as
Mm-hmm.
paper copies. So you could do return all, and then that way everybody else would see the comments that you would have.
Madam Chair, if I could,
Yeah.
so please do not, on emails that are sent to the body, do not reply to all, because that would create an illegal electronic meeting, not subject to the Sunshine Law.
To
So
the sunshine laws.
if, my suggestion would be is if each member has ideas for this, please put it in an email, send them individually to staff, and that way we've got a record of it that then staff can share with legal counsel and whomever else needs to see it.
Okay. So the thoughts behind it are, is that the planning commission could be more active in helping the city and not making, maybe we can expedite things if we can kind of ask things like how many used car lots we want, like what we want them to research, how many acreage should be the minimum for a used car lot. Things that we've kind of discussed, and we tend to get cases over and over and over again. How can we help them help us, basically? And come up with, better policy or recommendations from us. So I think if we could all just kind of, like you said, email Jordan, or guess all of you, and individually, with our list of things that we would like to see maybe discussed or make future recommendations for.
You can just email Miranda.
Okay, we'll email Miranda.
That was my question. I wanted to be consistent, so it, like,
Yeah.
multiple people
Brian
aren't
gets
getting
some, Stuart gets
emails
some.
from multiple other folks.
Okay. That's it for me. Anybody have anything for the greater good?
Well, I have a silly question as we were sitting here tonight. So, with, even the rezoning that we approved, and even in the pictures, that there's like still non-conformed, houses that people are living in, so why can we not just like rezone those automatically? Even with the unoccupied ones?
We have in the past done the city-initiated rezonings. We haven't done that here recently, but we have done that in the past. So with these particular cases, we did not. But like I said, we've done that in the past, and we'll probably do that again in the future. As other members of the board had been on here a while, are familiar with that when we've done that before.
So could we just get a map of all the pockets of little spaces and then just like go for it? Say, yeah.
Possible, or are there so many pockets that it would be tough?
Well, basically along 24 Highway, 23rd Street, not
40
necessarily 40 Highway, Truman, it's strip zoned. I think it was generally 200 feet from the right-of-way, they zoned commercial. And then areas along railroad tracks, it was zoned industrial, with the idea that it would all be industrial uses that would access the railroad. And we've done several of those as well as the commercial along our corridors.
Madam Chair, I might suggest
Yeah.
as well as, if y'all recall, the way it works from the big picture is that we have comprehensive plans that are designed to lay out how we would like to see the city develop over the long term, 20, 30 years out. Sometimes those get behind, or things don't develop the way we would expect them to, or just concepts change, ideas change, and so forth. But it's always important to make sure that the city is regularly updating its comprehensive plan as a guide, and that way, as we're going forward, we can be looking at that comp plan in addition to legal non-conforming uses. Because again, to the extent that we have changed the zoning in an area to get it to shift towards what the city wants to see 20 and 30 years in the future, we're working against ourselves to do these change backs to the use.
Yeah.
So understanding that lending practices have changed, and that was a lot of what we saw on this list this evening, is that it's hard for owner occupiers to get mortgages when they're not zoned properly because they can't be built back, but that would require us then to maybe go back and rethink what we're doing from a comprehensive plan standpoint with this kind of newer information.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of those. Okay.
Somehow tonight it just like dawned on me, like, you know, we've sat in so many of those meetings, but it's just like tonight especially, for some reason, it's just like, we could do that already? Like, you know, I guess I'm finally paying attention, I don't know. Sleeping down there?
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 7:22.